Welcome, everyone. So, this morning we're about to speak about root, and this is a very, very important point, and that is because if you think about it, why do we pick root to be the one that we read about on during these days? Like, why? Because you have to understand something. If you are, listen to what I'm telling you. If you are going on the journey to be a learner, to be a Tamil Chacham, you want to learn Torah, just know the journey is going to be with obstacles. No Tamil Chacham in the world, mark my words, no Tamil Chacham in the world. You see Tamil Chacham, there's not one Tamil Chacham in the world that didn't go through tremendous amount of obstacles to become what he became. Because you have to understand something. Yeah, the biggest mitzvah that we have is Torah, and that being said, the biggest Yetzer Hara is for a person to stop learning Torah. That's the biggest Yetzer Hara. He'll do anything in his power to stop you from going to learn Torah. Anything in his power, and I'm talking seriously, anything in his power to stop you from learning Torah. Go look at Rosh Hashanah Sefer, how there was one story, how he writes, he goes, I'm not going to go through the whole story, but you can look it up. And he writes at the end of that story, the Yetzer Hara will destroy a whole town for that one person not to be Tamil Chacham. Destroy a whole town. How? He'll do this and he'll do that, he'll do this, he'll do that. He'll destroy everything in order for one person to be Tamil Chacham. Us, as people that are growing, you have to know, we have to get out there and know that in advance. And when you know there's going to be obstacles, you know that now you can endure it. Now I can make it happen. Now I understand. We learned that from Ruth. Ruth was going with her mother-in-law Naomi, and Naomi kept on pushing her away. Don't come. You don't have to. There's no need. I have nothing to give you. Million times. That's what was going on. Ruth had Orpah as a daughter-in-law and Naomi as a daughter-in-law, both of them. And Ruth kept on pushing Orpah and Ruth, there's no need for you to come to me back to Israel and start out, there's no need. Not only that, at that time in history, they didn't even know if they could actually become Jewish. Because the Pasuk says, Ammon, right? Moab, they can't come in. Even if they convert, they can't come in, right? To the Judaism. So therefore they didn't know until they were Doresh, a lady can, but a man can't. The lady can go, but they didn't know that. And Ruth didn't know that either at that time. But she was so endured and so passionate to actually, no matter what, I don't care. I'm going to still try to join the Jewish people, no matter what. And even though they don't accept me, I'll do whatever I can do to be accepted. And she went through every single obstacle. That's how she became Ruth. That's how she became the Malchut. That's how you become a queen. That's how you become a king. When you say, this is what I have to do, and this is what I'm doing, no matter what it takes, this will be done. That's a king. And that's why she's called the Ema Malchut. She's called the queen of the kingship. And that's why she implanted it in the genes of the next generations. If you look, who'd she get a child with? Boaz. Boaz, you have to understand, at that time, really there was somebody else. She had to do Yibum, Ruth, right? She had to go with so the closest relative really was Ploni Almoni. But Ploni Almoni didn't want to do it. Why? Because there was a lot of raid at that time. Oh, is she Jewish? She's not Jewish. Until someone came and said, the psak is that she's doing. The psak, that's it, finished. You have to go on the psak, that's it, finished. So he was still scared. What are people going to think? What's people going to think? This, that. So Boaz says, I don't care. If this is psak, I'm doing it. That's it. So he went against the grain as well. Boaz went against a leader. A leader has to understand, if this is the deen, if this is the halakha, this is what I'm doing. Nobody's stopping me. If you want the Torah in your life, which you should want the Torah in your life, it says, if it wasn't for the Torah, how many Joes will be in the street? So you ask a question. My brother-in-law Joey San asked me a question. He says, "Wait, but what are you talking about? Let's say this Joe in the street is a good guy." So he went to Rabbi Yosef Palacci. He asked him this question. Joey San asked Rabbi Yosef Palacci this question. He says, "Rabbi, let's say he had good midot without the Torah." I says, "You have to understand something. This is what the rabbi said. The Rosh Yeshiva B'Atei Torah says, without Torah, you have nothing. It's true. The whole beracha that you get in your life is through HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but through the Torah itself. The Torah is a league in its own. Talmud Torah Kenei Kulam. When it says it, it means it. You have to realize the second you're learning, you don't see this, but you're building worlds in Shamayim. Every second you learn Torah, you're building worlds, and the second you stop learning, those worlds are stopping to be built. You realize that? Scary. It's scary if you really think about it. It's scary. It's scary. You're building worlds in Shamayim every single time you're learning. You're not understanding. The Yetzer Hara, what he wants to do is all day stop you from learning. That's his main thing. Bitul Torah. That's his main thing. He'll do anything to stop you. Anything. He'll try anything in the book to stop you from learning. And you'll see, by the way. You'll see what I'm talking about is right. And even sometimes you're not in the mood. Sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes, today I wake up, I'm tired. My eye is hurting. My left eye, my right eye, my back, my this, my that. I'm hungry. There's 1,000,001 excuses. There's 1,000,001 excuses. But if you know what you're in for, if you know Torah is my life, Torah is my everything. Why is Torah is everything? Because that's how you dabuk with Hashem. You have to cling to Hashem, and He gave us a Torah. One of the ways is the Torah in order to cling to Him. That's the strongest way out of every single mitzvah, is to cling with Hashem, is to learn His Torah. That is it. That is it. And when you know that, and you learn from root, no matter what, it's a do or die mentality. I will get there, and I will be, and I will make it. Then you will succeed. I like to tell you a Hidush. It says in Masechet Ta'anit, Daf Het. It says on the top of the page over there. It says that if a person finds his learning difficult, right, it's because he didn't do one of the things. Listen to the Hidush. Don't get technical in the Gemara, but right now, listen to the Chidush. The Chidush is, it says, sit down. What's the reason why you're not going to, the yeshiva guy didn't love his learning? You have a yeshiva bacha. What happened? Because he didn't do enough review to understand it well enough. So the Gemara says over there, review it many times. And it gives an example of Resh Lakish, and it gives an example of Rada Barahava, that they reviewed their Girsah, they reviewed their Torah 40 times, they reviewed 24, of course, many more times, but 24 times, 40 times before they even went to the rabbi to get it. Now it says, and if you didn't get it, what should you do? Yarbeh b'yeshiva. Really, it should say, Yarbeh b'chazara. Keep on reviewing. What's Yarbeh b'yeshiva? Yarbeh b'chazara. Continue doing chazara. No, it says Yarbeh b'yeshiva. It says, why did it say Yarbeh b'yeshiva? Because it doesn't make a difference how many times a person might have fallen with growing in Torah. You got to get up and start again and do it again. And this time, do it even harder and do it even stronger. Do it even harder, do it even stronger. I saw in my life so many guys. I had one of my best friends. We were on our way to Israel for the year. On our way to Israel. We were on our way to buy these crazy amount of meats and ship it to Israel. He was wild with the certain meats that he needed for the year. Okay? We had everything. We had duffel bags of everything that you could imagine. He came from a very wealthy family. So he was shipping out all these crazy things. I'm telling you, at the time, it was crazy things. And it took a long time to actually convince his parents and everything like that to let him go. Finally, it was all great. And even if not, he was going to go. Last second. Literally 12 hours before the flight to Israel. 12 hours before the flight to Israel. Comes to my house, says, I can't go. Something happened. One of his father said absolutely not for some reason, and he said he was like really everybody got involved at that moment. He didn't go. When I got to the yeshiva, the Rosh Yeshiva, one of the rebbeim over there comes to me and says, "Where's so and so? Oh, he didn't make it. What happened? First of all, you have to have schut to learn. You have to have a schut. If you're learning Torah right now, by the way, if you're learning, you're in the middle of learning, whatever times you're listening to this, that you're able to learn, you're able to listen. You got to thank Hashem right now. Say, thank Hashem, I'm able to have the schut to learn. You know how I know that? Gemara Kaf Chet Amud Bet. Look it up. Masechet Berachot. It says every time you leave the Beit Midrash, meaning to say, end of the day, you have to say Modeh Ani. Halacha l'maaseh is the Shulchan Aruch. Modeh Ani lefnecha melech hakayam shesam techakim yeshvei b'Beit Midrash. It's a whole ma'amad. In the Gemara, look at the beginning of the Gemara. It's supposed to have it. At least the Oz V'Adar has it. In the beginning, when you first open up the page, you'll see the Modeh Ani thanking Hashem. Why thank Hashem? No, because you need a schut to learn. You're thanking Hashem that I'm able to learn. You need a schut to learn. So we need a schut to learn. We need to say thank you Hashem for learning, and we have to remember one thing: the endurance. We have to go full force. Don't let anything stop you. This is what I'm doing. I know there's going to be obstacles on the way, but I'm going to learn from roots. Nothing's stopping me. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to learn. I have a seder. If you have a kavua time to learn, that's it. It's a do or die mentality. We had a guy over here. He started slow. He started very, very slow. I'll tell you, the guy himself never learned. He was never a learner. He said, I'm going to take this slow. He started once a week shiur, but that once a week, he never ever veered off. He says, do or die mentality. Through that now, he's learning in Israel. Full-time kollel. Could you imagine? From once a week, but he endured it so strong. Nothing stopped in his way. You know how many obstacles he had? He would call me up, Rabbi, what should I do? I have this, that. Every time he passed, every single time for the entire year. Now he's learning in kollel. He's flying high with the Gemara. He never learned Gemara in his life like this, like the way he's learning now. Never in his life. Now he's flying. The guy's flying. And you guys know who he is. How is that? Endurance. This is what I'm doing. Nobody's stopping me. I'm going full force. Have a great day.